First of all, I want to thank you all for coming here. We're very, very excited to have the great speakers today joining us, and one of them is we have Adbulla Al-Kubaisi and we have Jason Drew, and really both entrepreneurs have so much to share with us in an unexpected way, but we're very, very happy to have him here. And just to introduce Adbulla Al-Kubaisi, he's the founder of the new upcoming Bayda Tomat, the first Qatari grab-and-go sandwich bar and an exclusive distributor of Sweden roasted nuts, plus other UK products for Carrefour Middle East. In the daytime, a project director of a full-fledged solar manufacturing plant in the MENA region under the umbrella of Qatar Foundation. Today, Abdullah will speak about and share his experience on how he had an exclusive deal without even having a company to start with. So it proves the lean methodology. And so we're very happy that you're here with us today, Abdullah.
The pleasure is mine. Thank you very much, Aisha, for having me here.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background?
Well, first of all, thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to be in front of such a beautiful audience. My name is Adbulla Al-Kubaisi. I'm an instrumentation control engineer by education. I worked in Qatar Gas for over 13 years. Basically, when my career ended in Qatar Gas, I was the project director for the biggest LNG shipping project in the world, which is like having a capital cost of $11.5 billion. And later on, I worked in Qatar Foundation in a new company called Qatar Solar Technologies to build the first plant to make polysilicon, which is basically the raw material to make solar panels. And that's why I'm in the day job.
What about as an entrepreneur? You name yourself as a beginning entrepreneur. Can you tell us how this all started?
Well, it started from the day I read a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, or Poor Dad, Rich Dad, for an author called Robert Kiyosaki, I think. Now, from that book, I learned so many things. And let me just recite some of the things that I learned from it. First of all, I learned that most of the Qataris, unfortunately, have an issue with understanding the balance sheet. So basically, the idea is that to understand how much your income is and how much is your outcome. If your income is higher than your outcome, you become rich. So in fact, we just spend more than whatever we get. So that's a big issue. The other thing I learned from this book is that we have to escape the rat race. In our daily job and organizations like oil and gas or the public domain, we tend to wait for the paycheck. So we have to really work day and night until we get the paycheck at the end of the day. And this is called just a rat race. And it's a pity that we are in this game. Another thing that I want to add to this is that even if we find ourselves another income, like another job or entrepreneurial activity, we still have to keep the day job, because it's good to work to learn, not to earn. So working to learn is something that I keep in mind every day when I go to the day job, so I feel more energetic. Even if I don't like whatever I'm doing, I'm still learning as the days goes. And the irony is that the day job prevents poverty, but also will prevent you from being rich. Okay, so it's secure, but you will never be rich, because you'll just wait for the paycheck. You get upper in the hierarchy, but eventually you're just getting little bit of whatever you're actually supposed to earn. The last thing about this subject is that you just have to learn that fun is what you're looking for. It's not the money, because money is just a result of all the fun that you're doing. So find your passion, and then eventually the money will be like a side product.
Okay, and so can you tell us a little bit about your exclusive agreement with Carrefour? Yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit about it? How did it start? Without having a company, how did you manage to get that deal?
Well, the name of the game is basically the essence of marketing. And it's just putting yourself in their shoes. What exactly Carrefour people want to look at Abdulla Al-Kubaisi? When I come in, nothing in my hand, I really want to understand exactly their expectation and just manage their expectation. Do my homework. I had to make sure that I find the subject matter experts and understand exactly the communication skills that I have to master in order to talk to these people, because if you're not using even the right terminology, they know that you're not even in the business. So I had to do my homework, come prepared. Showing is believing. In that case, I had a couple of brochures from this nut company and actually some of the nuts in my hand. So I just showed them something. I'm not just telling them, no, I'm actually showing them something that they tried and they believed in as a good product. Another thing is to walk the talk. When I told them that in a couple of days I'll give you the price list, I did. So the next time they met me, they said, what about getting us more stuff? Even though I don't have even a license to import food. But since I showed them interest and I showed them that I'm really capable of just giving them whatever they ask for on due time, they asked me for more products. So I came the next day bringing them another exclusivity for more stuff. Yeah. So they felt like it's worth to take the risk and sign with this gentleman, because it's all about carrying yourself. It's all about believing in what you're selling. It's all about the relationship. In fact, my relationship with Carrefour is personal. It's not just about business. Basically, I try to be myself. I try to be very transparent. I told them I don't have a company, but I can bring you this. Do you want it?
So
I can bring it.
A company.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, as long as you know what to say, when to say it, and be prepared, because they will ask questions. They'll keep shooting you with questions until they crack you. So you have to be ready, because those guys have dealt with so many of your likes for the last 30 or plus years. The relationship part of this is very important. When you have a good relationship with a gentleman or the she or the he in front of you, it's different than just doing business. This is my motto in business. When I sit with people, I'll tell them, listen, regardless of whatever business we're going to do, if there's no business, I just don't want to lose you as a person. And then they start believing me as a person, not just about the business. Because we used to say when I was building ships, the best ships are friendships. So I have a very good relationship with those people.
Here in this region?
It works 100%. It works everywhere. You just have to understand the ambience and the atmosphere and the characteristic of such beast. You have to feed the beast, basically.
You need to do research also about company.
Absolutely, and you have to believe in the product that you're giving them. You have to be passionate about whatever you're giving them, and in fact, you always have more information than them about whatever you're showing them, because you've done your homework.
What about the person you approached? Is it the CEO, or who's the first
now,
interaction?
That's where you have to play the game of network to find the right way of how to penetrate such market. You have to talk to the person which you think will at least give you the opportunity to talk to. But later on, it's a network, so they will give you more opportunity to talk to more of them.
Why didn't you talk a little bit about بيض الطماطم?
Well, now this is something very interesting. At the beginning, of course, I was thinking about the gap in the market. If in any case you want to do any business, you have to see the market. You look at it from different perspectives. You see what you have from strength perspective, what you are really good at, and look for the subject matter expert. In that case, it was my aunt. So she was a chef, and she's still a chef, and she's doing great, but she doesn't have the business part. So I came with an idea that actually will revolutionize the way we get our own food. The normal serving is just a mountain of rice with a big lamp on top of it. So this is not Qatari, and this is part of it, but there are so many things, so many other things that we eat on our daily basis, and it's a pity that we don't serve it. So I brought all the oil and gas industry business and energy policies and procedures and systems into a restaurant that actually made like the McDonald's of the Qatari food. So when you go back behind the scene, you see manuals, you see systems, you see a very, very well-studied workflow so that we get the product with the same consistency to people. So I went to my aunt and told her, listen, we want to do this. And she came up with the name. She said, well, I wanted to do this for a long time. And it's called Bayt Tomat. So I laughed. Everybody laughed. I mean, when I say Bayt Tomat, it's really funny, you know. But it's good that you never forget it. So I told her, listen, you know, we cannot just sell Bayt Tomat for the whole day. We have to sell other things as well. So we came up with the other stuff that we normally have in our daily basis. When you go home, we have the stew or the hamsa or whatever, some other cultures, they call it tashwiha, and put it in a sandwich. But something else that I learned from the food industry is that the more you go to the elementary level of making things, the more you maintain the consistency and the quality. And therefore, even the bread is made in front of you. And the bread is different than other places. I mean, we are used to seeing like falafel and shawarma and other things and Lebanese bread or saj. This time I used Iranian bread, so it's new and it's done in front of you. So it's, the whole thing is being revolutionized, and plus how I wanted to present it. Now, in any business, you want to think of what exactly the message you want to give to people. Am I selling gourmet food? Is it supposed to come in plates and, you know, with very nice serving? Or it's just something that anyone can approach? Or it's very, very cheap? So you have to look at your market positioning. Do you want it to be high quality, high price? Do you want it to be low quality, low price? Or vice versa? For instance, McDonald's is mass production of like medium quality, low price. So by doing this, they're really making really good money. In the same process, you have to think of how to bring the cost down as much as possible. Because in business, you cannot just simply give people, you know, everything gold-plated. It's very expensive. But the trade-off is that you should not compromise the quality of whatever you're giving people for the sake of having cheaper supplies. Okay, so by knowing who are my audience, or let's say the clients, I designed the whole thing to actually serve them and give them exactly what I wanted to give them. Like for instance, when the designer came to me, he said, Abdullah, I have two options for you. I have the flashy colors, the KFC of this world, and something, you know, more class, more monocolor, but it's homey, let's say more recycled paper thingy, and no, it's not flashy at all, but it looks like more, you know, higher end quality of serving. I actually chosen this for a reason. Most of people told me you have to go for the flashy one because it's a sandwich bar. But I learned again that I have to educate my clients. I want to give them something new. It's an experience. I learned from a short course that I had in INSEAD, Business School of INSEAD, just a very short course, that whatever we're doing, we're just selling people happiness. We're giving them happiness in different forms, in services or as products. And whatever makes you happy, of course, it will make people happy. So the passion, the love, the belief of whatever you're giving people will show on the product itself. And that will by itself bring people. By itself, it will you know, spread the word of the mouth and bring more people, and without compromising the quality of the serving. So it's a mix of things. I don't want that to make the long story short. I just sold my passion to people.
That's nice. That's amazing. And you are willing to make it as a franchise, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
How is that? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, that's a long story again, but just to make it short, it's the long-term vision. I mean, in any franchise or any restaurant, you wouldn't think small. You would think big. You think that I really want to get this. In fact, the vision of Bayt Tomat is that I want the Qatari food to be known in the whole globe. How to do this? I cannot just simply go with the big feast stuff. I wanted to go through this little door that shows them small sandwiches with our flavors. So this is exactly what I did. The presentation of it was so nice to the point that anyone sees it wants to buy it. the way that we presented things, the way that I carry myself through the presentations, the way that I show passion about whatever I'm selling, makes people more believe in whatever I'm giving them. Plus, of course, the visual aids, the pictures, the folder I put it in, the way I come in the meeting. Plus the social media. Big plus to the social media.
Well, I've seen the place on social media, and it looks really beautiful. I can't wait to actually go visit.
I hope so.
It's in. Do you want to share the location?
Yeah, it's in Qatar Petrol Station, Duhail. They call it Duhail Complex. It's just after the one that blown off last year. There is a petrol station that has a big trouble. It's the one just after it on the highway.
So what do you think were the, I mean, I'll ask you again, but yes, you did say that the quality is important, but what are really the most important factors of having, franchise agreements, and if you did, like, sign, what are the really most important factors, especially knowing that at your case, they did sign before launching?
It's exactly like what I did with Carrefour. I came in ready, prepared. I've done my homework, sat with the subject matter expert in food and beverages and actually franchising. From the legal perspective, I brought the guru, okay?
So you approached.
Absolutely. No, I'm talking about the people who helped me to present the case.
Okay.
So I have like couple of people from the food and beverages as consultants, from the legal perspective. Also, I have, for instance, my lawyer is actually representing Starbucks.
Yeah.
So the guy knows his business very well in Qatar.
Yeah.
So by doing just this extra step to know those people, you will be in the right mindset to present your case to anyone.
Yeah.
And that's how people start to like it. Plus, it's unique, it's different. I just want to thank Saleh. He reminded me of Saleh Al-Marri, my good friend from Kahrama, about the blue ocean and the red ocean, terminology or the book. I just tried to find the blue ocean. It's just a niche that nobody knew about. Or it's like what I'm doing with the roasting nuts. And thank you for locating this here in QBIC. Nobody's roasting nuts in Qatar. So I found something that nobody's doing. I don't have to compete with others. I just want to quote what Steve Jobs says about the iPhone when before he actually created it. He said, I will create something that people will just follow, will just forget about all the other prototypes of phones and just do this. And exactly this is what he did. He just created something new. Exactly what he did with the iPad. It's the same thing. It was not even there. He just created something new. And this is exactly what I did with the Beltomat.
Yeah, and I think what I see and what we have interacted with you, that yes, you have the idea, but you also have the commitment to make the idea. There are ways and means to make sure that you get it done. And
well, it's good, Aisha, that you reminded me of this. Building the winning team. It's the name of the game. Now, I don't claim that I know everything, but I know someone who knows every sector of it's a big puzzle, okay? So you just have to make sure that the whole jigsaw is being put in the right way so that the whole picture looks beautiful. In the food industry, I needed to make sure that my feasibility study is done properly. I'm one of the few people who Qatar Development Bank agrees that I actually followed exactly what's in the feasibility study. Because basically rubbish in, rubbish out, sorry for my English, but if you put the wrong information in the feasibility study, you will never execute it.
So what was the process anyways to get it done?
I brought an operation manager who had really long experience in the food and beverages. I brought also the gurus in building such feasibility study because they do have some information about this. I brought the lawyer, other food and beverages consultants. I actually spent more money just to make sure that my team is perfect, number one. Number two, I made sure that they communicate to each other. They are communicating in the right way. And if there is anything that is not happening in the right way, I jump on it and make sure that I read whatever is coming. As a project manager, now I use, of course, my experience and skills and seeing whatever is coming in the way and resolving it before it happens. Because being proactive is much better than being reactive. If you wait until the water is under the bridge, خلاص, it's too late. But you really have to see what's coming and then make sure that you have the safeguards, the right safeguards in place before it happens. Building the winning team. If there is something that I just want you guys to leave, I mean, here from my end, is that to build the winning team. If you have all the right people around you, they don't have to be having the same mindset or they think alike, because it's not really good to have a bunch of people who think exactly the same way. This is called group thinking. You need a diversified bunch of people who can look at the issue from different perspectives, so that eventually you make sure that there is nothing goes wrong, because somebody in the group, he actually looked at this gap and closed it for you at the right time.
And we have to ask you this. What were the challenges? There were many challenges, I assume. What were the biggest challenges?
The biggest challenges, again, in which one? In Beltamat or the roasting or?
Both.
It's finding the place. I mean, you guys are really resolving big part of our misery. I mean, making sure that you have an office, getting the computer card. All of these formalities is the biggest issue in any of this. If this was really simple, I would, I know that more people will do more business. For instance, in the industrial area, when I started thinking about big projects, I have other projects as well that I shared with my friends here. I cannot do because there's no industrial areas, I mean industrial lands for it. And I was asked to wait for a long time in the queue until I have another land. So that's one thing. This is the second thing. From the franchising perspective, believe it or not, it's really hard to franchise in Qatar, because there is still, as far as I understand, no mechanism to copy Beltamat somewhere else unless it's my company. So if you, for instance, come and say, Abdulla, I'll open another one in Al-Khor, it cannot be done because of some formalities, reasons.
To bring franchises from abroad.
It's okay. Because when you bring it from abroad, it's still under your name. You can make a number of those branches. As per the franchise agreement, you are obliged to open at least 5 or 6 or whatever within your territory. Okay, there are different ways of this, with these agreements. But if you initiate something from scratch from Qatar, it's really hard to franchise it in Qatar. I can open tomorrow in Dubai or Saudi Arabia, but in Qatar it cannot be under your name with the same, with the same title. It's something that is already on the table or the desk of QDB's people, and they're working on it. I'm sure they'll come up with an answer for it.
That's great. Thank you so much. And if you have anything else to share in terms of your experience, one last word, a motivational word for the team.
Well, just find something that is not there. I mean, you don't have to copy someone else. The whole idea is to look at the whole market and see where is the gap and come up with a solution. Now, the solution might not be easy, but again, for sure, you'll find the subject matter expert to help you just crystallize the idea and make it feasible, basically. Whatever is the idea, believe in it. Sell the passion. Give people something that you like. Give people that something you'll be proud if you buy it yourself. I mean, today, if any of the food that I'm giving to people I don't like, I would just shut down the restaurant tomorrow. So it's about me selling something to me. I'm giving happiness to others, and this is exactly what you may want to think about. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your time. We're so happy that you're joining us here at QBIC as well. So we're really happy that you're joining us today. You are such an inspiration. Thanks.
Thank you very much. It's my honor. Thank you very much.
What customer validation did you do with any of your concepts?
I did it actually early in the process. Both the food, I mean the sandwiches themselves, we made a proper testing session. We brought different kind of people from different age group and background and education, and we listened to them very carefully. We made a little a questionnaire, and they answered it, and they were happy with the food. Some people, they said it's spicy and whatever, and we made sure that we take their feedback into consideration. Now, this is regarding the sandwiches. Carrefour was just slam dunk. I found a very nice product, and you can do it. It's very simple. I mean, every year they have in Dubai an exhibition called Gulf Food. You can just simply go there and find something that you really like, come to any of those wholesalers, either Almira or Lulu or whatever, and just show it to them. And if you are really, really passionate about it, they'll just take it. Of course, you have to know what to tell them. I mean, they may ask you, where are you going to store it, for instance? How many trucks do you have? So you just have to be prepared.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Other question?
Yeah, first of
اللي عنده
all,
ميكروفون يسأل.
There's a question
I
here.
like to appreciate Mr. Abdulla Al-Kubaisi. The achievement you have done
Thank you very much.
is really very much appreciated. And the ingredients which you have means described here about setting up an enterprise and being an entrepreneur is really are the key ingredients to be successful in the entrepreneurship. My question is that during all this process, means what you have gone through that, have you been through some entrepreneur courses or means kind of some training to equip you with the knowledge, with the understanding of means different functions of the business before setting up means this setup?
No, not really. I just had to educate myself regarding the balance sheet, because basically in any business, the backbone is the finance. If you know exactly how to calculate how much you're making, the accounting part of it, you know how to make money. Number one. Number two, you have to find a product that people want. I mean, it's not really rocket science. I put myself on people's shoes. What exactly in Qatar that you don't find? For you, just tell me, you tell me. What is the thing, the only thing that comes to your mind straight away when you think, well, in Qatar, I don't think there is enough vegetarian restaurants for some Indians. Is that right?
Yeah, something like that, exactly.
Just tell me another one. Just give me an example.
Say, for example, we can say some kind of desi foods of the not much restaurants for the Indians. Desi foods, not the vegetarian, but the desi stuff.
So this is something entirely we don't know about, and there is some good, let's say, customer base for it, but you have to do your calculations. You have to make sure that your pricing is done properly so that you don't, overprice it. It's all about the willingness to pay. I'll give you one example of something that I always like to give, because it's relevant to our, let's say, to Qatar, for instance.
Okay.
We used to buy the can of Pepsi for 1 riyal. And suddenly they changed the price to 1.5. Now the issue is that in our mind, the can of Pepsi equals to 1 riyal in happiness. The happiness that the can of Pepsi gives you, or Coca-Cola or any soft drinks, gives you equal to 1 riyal in value, okay? So the willingness to pay is, I'm paying 1 riyal because this happiness equal to 1 riyal. Whenever they change it to 1.5 riyals, we felt like we have to boycott it. We did actually. Some people actually stopped buying because they said, no, they're just fooling us. So that's a very, very interesting tool to keep in mind.
I'll add you another thing related to the Pepsi. Now I buy 2 to make it 3 reals. And they are getting more revenue on this price. So it is very much interesting thing.
Now the short answer to you, because I'm sure there are other people,
Exactly.
no any entrepreneurial, let's say, education or training. What I did is just use my background.
Lovely, lovely. Thank you very much, and we appreciate you, and we like to see more franchises and branches of Bedut Mat, inshallah.
Thank you, inshallah.
Jazakallah khair.
Thank you. Jazakallah.
One more question, and then we'll break for the prayer. Okay, 2 more questions.
لازم زيد يسألني.
Hi, good evening, sir. My question is in 4 different areas, and you can answer it in one time. Okay. The first area is the wastages. What is your social responsibility as a partner of Carrefour of course, it's a food industry, and all the products are expired. And since you tell me that it's so difficult to acquire land, I know Baladia is managing those wastages. So how will you diversify it in a different area? Your competitive market, which is in Lulu, that one, sometimes they do this kind of food thing. They sell many also. And then you tell me that it's not, finance is the backbone. So how about your employee relationship with them? Because they are the one in front of your client. So how do you create a culture in your organization as Carrefour? This is also that one. And then how will you, the last one is, how would you see your company that build to last? I know food is really forever necessity for us. If one company enters the market and different sponsor, how will you be able to align with your, what will you do if a new competitor or errands that can threaten your business? Thank you very much.
Okay, I think as you said, all of them can be answered once. Basically, I found a product that is oil-free, so it's roasted by dry air, gluten-free, and the packaging itself, it's also recyclable, okay? The other thing that I compete with, I mean, if anyone comes in, already there are a couple of competitors, I'm not the only one. First of all is by being the pioneer. To start first is actually a big step. Whenever they come to you, we already have like a couple of miles away because we have to find different spices, different flavoring. I'm going to basically have different offerings for people because the ones I'm bringing from Sweden has, for instance, wasabi taste. Maybe Qataris or the ones in Qatar do not like it. So I will also work with the Sweden labs to find different tastes for Arabs. The other thing is that, as I said, if you start earlier, you really have to keep up the R&D so that you be ahead of them. Something I learned from building any plant. Your plant has to be very much agile. So it's easy to change any part of the plant to make sure that you meet the market demand. For instance, some of the packaging have a zipper. So we may want to start doing this because you don't want people to throw things while it's still fresh. So you just keep it more fresh by having such zipper.
Yeah, my question is, you try to open a fast food Qatari with high...
Not fast food.
Not fast food, but you understand what I mean. Classy one. Why did you choose to put your restaurants in a petrol station?
It's because of, again, when I started thinking about this, I brought the subject matter experts around me. And I asked them this question: where do I have to start? This is my message, this is what I'm doing, where should I start? And the first thing that they've done is traffic analysis, or the footfall of this particular place. And if you just go to this place, you will find out that within a radius of 2 kilometers, there is no restaurant at all. So it's really high traffic. The way I'm presenting this, or let's say serving people, is actually built for this. Like, for instance, it's not yet implemented, but it's part of the plan, is to have iPads with the whole menu being photoshopped nicely, very bright photos. So even the guys in their cars, they do not need to open up the lights and the cards. Very bright. It tells you what's the sandwich. They just have to sign. So I understand what kind of people I'm dealing with. So these are the kind of people I'm dealing with. I want them to eat it fresh directly from the restaurant. The idea is to open it 24 hours. So again, if I open in a shopping mall, it won't be available.
Yeah, but you start at 4 p.m.
Sorry?
You start at 4 p.m.
No, this is because for the time being, it's only soft opening. Yeah. So of course, in reality, I have to open from the morning. But thank you very much for going there anyway.